welcome back to the Journey to the Firelands. Now let's see, we've got everything in order here, so let's just break out of this. Make sure there's no unpleasantries about. And close up the hidey hole. And let's see, we need this direction. To the west, onward to the Firelands. Alright. Starting off as usual, the world size reported by Windows is 694 megabytes. And Minecraft is reporting 696.91 megabytes. And so we continue onwards. Looks like I'm going to have to go around this mountain, or over it. Looks like over it. Okay. Ugh. I really need to be more careful. Otherwise I could take a fatal jump one day. Wouldn't want to do that. It'd spoil my perfect record. Anyway, we are proceeding onward in the Journey to the Firelands as part of the quest to raise money for Child's Play charity, which you can contribute to with the Child's Play widget at tinfoilchef.com/donate. Very worthy cause, definitely worth doing. Getting toys, books, and games to kids in hospitals all over the world. Kind of make the hospital stays more bearable, easier to deal with, and so on and whatnot. Okay, let's just go ahead and burn a boat. Hopefully I'm not wasting it, but we'll find out. Anyway, as usual, there are some questions for which I'm very grateful. It gives me something to talk about along the way. And the first question is, how did you grow such an awesome beard? What is your secret? Well, in my case, I don't really have that much of a secret. It was mostly a matter of I stopped shaving. And that's really about the big piece of it right there. I stopped shaving, and nature did the rest. Nature and genetics. I just, very much that's it. I just stopped shaving, and genetics did the rest. Other than that, I may trim the beard once in a very great while if it's getting a little too unruly or something like that. You know, it's like if my mustache gets long enough that it starts getting hair in my food, then it's time to trim that. And when I do that, I may trim the beard itself as well. Other than that, not really a whole lot. I mean, I take a brush and comb to it every day. You know, some people think that a beard is just something that hangs there and you don't have to do anything with it, but really it does need to be brushed and combed. And I say brushed and combed because I have personally found that mine is thick enough that if I don't use a brush first, I can't get a comb through it at all because it really is that thick. Okay, I can see the other side, so I'm not going to bother with the boat. And so that's really about it. There's not really a whole lot else I can say about a beard, except that I think I look better with it than without it. And I realize that's largely a matter of opinion, but what the heck? I'm wearing the beard. My opinion counts. And so on. Okay, next question is from Gorillas149, who asks, are you a cook or were you a cook? And by the way, in case you recognize any of these questions, some of them were submitted for recent Ask TFC, and I didn't get to all of them in that, so I'm getting to some of them in this video, which is fine, I think, as long as they get answered. That's the main thing. And so, am I a cook? No, I am not a cook. And was I ever a cook? No, I have never been a cook in terms of that's been a profession that I did, actual cooking, as opposed to making things hot. There is a difference. Anybody can make food hot. Not anybody can cook. I do consider there to be a significant difference between the two. Such as, for example, working in fast food places, which I've done a considerable amount of, particularly in pizza places and so on. And even though in such places I have had a job title of cook, I wouldn't consider it to be cooking, because really all I'm doing is, it's more of an assembly line job than a cooking job, because you get an order for a pizza that requires you to use a certain kind of crust and put certain ingredients on it and throw it in the oven. That's not cooking, that's an assembly line job. And honestly, I'm quite sure they could train a chimp to do it. It's just that they use humans because they don't cost as much as chimps to train. And I really believe that. Having done that job as much as I have, I'm pretty sure that's actually a fair estimation of that kind of job. And anybody can feel free to correct me if they believe I'm wrong, but that's what I believe. Anyway, so I've never been a cook. I've always thought it would be an interesting job to have, actually really genuinely preparing food, being creative with food. I think that would be a fascinating job to have, but it requires education ahead of time. You don't just walk into a kitchen and declare yourself a cook. You actually have to have a certain amount of education for that, and learning all sorts of things. I've learned a little bit of things here and there, but never enough to even consider calling myself a cook. That's why I call myself tinfoil chef instead of iron chef or super chef or chef man or anything like that, because I can cook to a degree, but not enough of a degree that I could ever call that a job of mine, a profession, or anything like that. And so that's about all I can say about the cooking thing. Okay, I appreciate the question, though. It was a good one. Let's see, we have another one. We have several, actually, that come from FormSpring and other anonymous or don't use my name, just answer the question kind of things. And let's see, one of them is not actually a question so much as it is a suggestion. Actually, there's a few of those. Let's see. The first one is from an anonymous person. Get a pet golem. Getting a pet golem would be very interesting, especially since in Minecraft there is no golem. You might try Lord of the Rings or something like that, some Lord of the Rings based game for that possibility, but there are no golems in Minecraft, especially Minecraft Beta 1.7.3. It just it's not going to happen. And besides, could you ever possibly bring yourself to trust a golem enough to sleep when it was anywhere nearby? I couldn't. No, no, no. And the first time it said anything about the precious, that would be it. Goodbye. So, I don't think there's going to be any pet golems. I'm not a big one on pets anyway. I might do a pet sometime, someday, but I don't see it happening right now. In the meantime, we have the end of the first day. Ah, first try. Good. I usually click it a few seconds too early. Okay, and we're off and running. Jumping and getting a little bit of oof. Anyway, let's see. The next suggestion is another anonymous one. Says, you should do some caving. All this walking is boring. Well, I'll tell you what. Perhaps at some point I will do some caving. Although I have to be honest, I've never been really all that fond of, or for that matter good at, caving in Minecraft. As you can probably see from a number of examples that exist in my single player main world. Caving has never been my forte, and in this world caving is something that I kind of tend to avoid simply because it is extremely hazardous. And I think that so long as I'm carrying 14 blocks of iron and 8 diamonds, I probably don't need to go caving. And when I start running short on resources, that's another matter entirely. Obviously, then something will have to be done to gain some resources. And don't you just love this? Well, let's see if this is walkable for any decent length of time. It looks like I'm going to be making a third boat here. Well, then again, we don't know what's on the other side of that hill. So, anyway, caving is not going to happen very often in this series, because this series is more about the journey. This is about going with the eventual objective of reaching the Firelands, with the side objective, an important side objective of raising money for Child's Play charity, and enjoying the scenery and so on along the way. I love this stuff, this 1.73 beta terrain generation. It's really, really epic. Like, look at this. You have a plains that comes in here and is surrounded by snow-capped mountains. And you never know what is beyond the next hill or past the next forest, or whatever you want to say, and whatever there is, whatever's what's beyond the next thing. Like we have what looks like a natural staircase carved in here. Great. We come up here, we have something of a plateau. Epic view forming over here. Now, if I was in a base building situation, right over here, up in those mountains, would be a great place to build. Or perhaps up there, near that spire, that peak. Or for that matter, maybe even on top of this one. I like epic remote kind of bases like that. Alright, there we go. And we proceed onward. Onward and upward and downward and aroundward, and let's not fall in the hole in the groundward, and so on. Uh, okay, another question is, do you ever play any other games? Well, as a matter of fact, yes, I do. I mean, I started with gaming and video making, well, making gameplay videos. I started that with Minecraft. And Minecraft is the first computer game that I have spent any great deal of time playing in actually quite a while. There was a time when I used to play, Facebook time waster games occasionally when I was really bored or something like that. And there's some other games, Quake for one, and both Quake 1 and Quake 2. I played around in Half-Life a little bit. The original Half-Life. The one that came in the box, I don't know how many years ago. I haven't even installed it in 4 or 5 years. But it was pretty good. Challenging, at least for its day. And something called Space Empires was also very good in the middle to late 90s. I understand it's been updated. The last version of it that I saw was Space Empires 4, which had significantly improved. I really got to stop doing that. It really significantly improved the gameplay. It expanded it, made a lot more of it, and really, really improved the graphics and the user interface and so on. And that was really good. It was a turn-based strategy game where you could play against other players or against computer AI. It was fairly challenging, especially if you turn the difficulty levels up and get a whole lot of computer AIs involved. And then, of course, there's Kerbal Space Program and the FTB variant of Minecraft, which is just Minecraft with a crap ton of mods that add all sorts of stuff to the game. Oh boy. Let's navigate this maze. There we go. Okay. There's been more games, of course, but I can't for the life of me think of very many of them right now. Other downloadable Windows-based time waster games, I consider them to be time waster games because you really don't achieve very much of anything except to practice your ability to perform basically repeatable actions over and over again with slight variations, but the variations are kind of predictable and so on. Things like Bejeweled is a good example, and so on. And I could only think of that one for some reason. I have no idea why. I've played dozens of these things, but that's basically the idea. Okay, anyway. So I can't think of much else to say about other games right now. There is another game that I'm kind of looking into a little bit because I've seen some stuff about it, and I'm thinking I might get involved with that one. I haven't decided yet, though, so I'm not going to say anything more about it. And so let's move on. We have another suggestion. Make a roller coaster. Okay, I realized that people have made roller coasters in Minecraft before. I've even seen a few videos of Minecraft roller coasters that have actually come out to be pretty epic. But I really don't see myself designing and building such a thing. And again, if I did do something like that, it would not be in the Journey to the Firelands, because something like that would take, easily at least 6 or 7 episodes to build, and I need to do a little bit of building in the form of a hidey hole. Alright, so there we go. Dig this out into a proper 3x3. Get a little bit of light in here. Well, go ahead and throw down a workbench and a bed. Okay, let's make up a couple of more beds. My clicking is somewhat off today. And a couple of boats. Break this thing down. Block the opening. And that's about it. Okay, well, as always, thanks for watching. Be sure to stop by tinfoilchef.com/donate. Donate to Child's Play Charity using the widget there. That widget is created by Child's Play Charity themselves, and the money donated through that widget goes directly to them. I don't see or handle a cent of it, so you're perfectly secure there. Anyway, until next time, take it easy. Thanks for watching. I'm out of here.